Hello everyone, welcome to Learn with Amine. In this video, we'll be talking about certain updates that are made to the OCI application for minor applicants in United States by the VFS. So with the advent of January 2025, the VFS had made certain changes. One of the major change is the apposal of the birth certificate. Usually if a birth certificate is issued in US and the birth certificate is being used in United States, then the apposal of the document is not required, but the Indian consulate or Indian embassy is considered to be India and not US. So now if you want to use the birth certificate that is issued in US for a child that is born in United States, for the OCI application, it is considered that it is being used in Indian consulate or Indian embassy, which is part of India and not US. That's why the apposal of the birth certificate is required as per the VFS. VFS has started instructing the candidates to get the apposal of the birth certificate. So in this, what is the major change is you need to get an additional document. It will cause an increase in the number of days required to get the OCI card for the minor applicant. So first thing is, you get a birth certificate from the local county office where the child is born, correct? Now usually a parent gets only one birth certificate original, but when you are applying for the birth certificate, pay an additional amount and request for multiple original copies or multiple originals of the same birth certificate from the local county office. So basically first step is apply for the multiple original of the birth certificate from the local county office. Now secondly, you need to get an apposal of the birth certificate for the minor child. So the apposal is a separate document, and for the apposal you require either the original document, that is the original birth certificate, or the certified original of the birth certificate. This is about the apposal. So after you have submitted this document, you get an apposal, which is a separate document. Now let us look at how to get the apposal. Now before we jump on to the actual process, let me tell you, if the child is born in Texas and you have already moved to Michigan, then can you get the apposal of the birth certificate that was issued to your child? The answer is no, you cannot get the apposal of the birth certificate of the child in Michigan because the birth certificate was issued by the Texas authority. So what does it mean? Although you are living in Michigan, you must get the apposal of the Texas birth certificate from the Texas authority itself and not from the Michigan authority. So this is about the United States. So you need to get the original to get the apposal, and you need to get the apposal from the same state which has issued you the document. This is not just limited to birth certificate but other documents also, but in this specific video I'm going to talk about only the birth certificate because this is the requirement of the OCI application for the minor applicants. So let's get started. Firstly, let me remind you that the apposal of the birth certificate process is a little different for each of the state. So when I say that the process is different for each state, it means that the amount of money that you are supposed to pay for the apposal is different, and the address to which you are sending your original document is different. Sometimes different states require just the original copy, or some other state require the certified original copy. So you need to make sure of it. And for this specific video, I'm going to take an example of North Carolina because one of the subscriber from North Carolina asked me regarding the process of apposal of birth certificate. So in order to help her out, I'm going to take the example of North Carolina. So let's jump into the process. So this is the sample apposal of the birth certificate. As you can see, this is a sample from the state of Texas. I'm assuming that the child was born in Texas. So you would be applying to the Texas authority to get the apposal, and the apposal of different states also look similar to this. It is basically authorizing or authenticating the person who has signed the birth certificate document. So that is what apposal of the birth certificate document is. It is a separate document, and for this you might have submitted original or certified original. So that original or certified original along with this apposal document needs to be submitted to VFS in the OCI application, where there is a placeholder for birth certificate. Now let's jump into the process. Firstly, let us see at the documents that are required for apposal, and this is for North Carolina state. North Carolina requires original certified copy of the birth certificate which is issued in North Carolina and issued within the last 5 years. So how do you get the certified copy? You can get the certified copy from North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, or you can get it from vitalcheck.com, or you can contact the Vital Records Department, which is available or reachable at +1919 733 3526. This is the phone number of the Vital Records for the North Carolina state. If your child was born in North Carolina, then you can get the original certified copy of the child's birth certificate issued within the last 5 years. It's going to get issued. Now the second document that you need to submit is the cover letter. And in the cover letter, what are the information that is mentioned in the cover letter? It is your contact information as a parent, basically your phone number, address, email address. So all such kind of contact information of the parent of the minor US born child is provided in the cover letter. Then it will also ask for the document type for which you are asking the apposal. So basically you mention the birth certificate and country where apposal will be used. If you are using it for the purpose of OCI of the minor born child, then you would mention it as India. And you need to provide the payment information, that is you are going to mention whether you are making the payment by check, money order or cash, and also return information. So applicants might apply through mail as well. So the office wants to know how you want the document, which is the birth certificate and apposal, returned to you. Is it through regular mail, prepaid mail or pickup? So that information also needs to be provided, and the cover letter can be obtained from this website. So let's see the cover letter together so I can explain you how to fill the document. So this is for the North Carolina state only, and this is the official cover letter. Here you need to provide the date, the contact name, so name of the parent of the minor US born child. This is the email address. This is the complete mailing address. So address line 1, city, state, zip code. This is the telephone number of the parent of the minor born child, country where each document will go to. Since you are submitting the document to VFS, for the Indian consulate to issue you the OCI, you would mention India, and any special notes or instructions, whether you want the document directly forwarded from the department to a specific address other than your own address. So you can mention those instructions over here, but in your case there are no special notes or instructions, especially for the OCI application, so you can leave it blank or not applicable. Then you can mention the payment type, whether you want to pay by check, cashier's check, cash or money order. If you are applying through mail, I would recommend you to apply the payment using a money order or cashier's check. I will be providing further details in the upcoming minutes. And if you are making an appointment and going to the office through walk-in, then you can provide your payment as cash. So you can check one of these options that you are going to use. And since you are getting one apostille for one document, so you can mention 1 into $10 is $10. So the amount of money is different for different states. Usually the process is very similar, that you need to provide some sort of application form or a cover letter and the original document and the payment, and payment is done by cashier's check, but the amount and the address to which you will be applying are different for each state. Now in Texas, the apostille is $15 for the birth certificate, and for North Carolina it is $10. And this is adaptions only, and it is not applicable in our case. So this is the total payment includes, which is $10, and you can mention how you want the document returned to you. Now if you are going to mention self-address stamped envelope through regular courier, it is going to take around 30 days. You will be sending the document through USPS, and they will be returning the document through USPS, and there is processing time for the apostille, so it might take up to 30 days. If you are in an emergency, or if you want the document in a hurry, then you can use overnight delivery envelope. So you can do overnight delivery to the office address, and in the return you can prepay for the overnight delivery, and you can provide the return label which is addressed to your location, which is already paid. You can add that in the envelope in which you are sending to the office, so you can get the document back overnight. So this is basically the cover letter. You need to fill this and you need to provide in your envelope. Next is the payment of $10 per document. If you are getting only one document apostille, you will be paying $10. So if you are sending by mail or walk-in, you can pay by money order, cashier's check. Okay, and when you are issuing the money order or cashier's check, you need to make sure that it is payable to North Carolina Secretary of State. The exact words you can use. Then if you are going for a walk-in, then you can also pay by cash, but make sure that you carry the exact amount of $10, because no change will be provided. Now the fourth document that you need to provide is a return prepaid envelope or self-address envelope, basically a label or an envelope. If return prepaid label is provided, return mail will be sent using that label. If no return prepaid label is provided, then the return mail will be regular, that is, it is sent through USPS, and it would be no tracking number, it would be the slower option, and it would be sent only to a US address. You cannot get it delivered outside of US. Now those are the 4 documents that you need to submit for the apostille, and then there are 2 routes through which you can apply. First is walk-in and the second is by mail. In mail you have 2 options. One is USPS mail and the second is UPS or FedEx. So let us stick to the walk-in route. It is a faster option. It does not take up to 30 days. It is really fast, but you need to make an appointment, and the appointment can be made on this particular website, which is sosnc.gov/home/appointment. And the appointments might be between the time of 8 to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. And the address for the walk-in route is NC Department of the Secretary of State, 2 South Salisbury Street, Raleigh, North Carolina 27601. So you basically need to go there with all the required documents, and you can provide the document, pay in cash, and you can get the apostille done. Now if you are sending an application through mail, the required document should be sent in an envelope. Now if you are using USPS, then you can send the application to the PO box number. When you are sending through UPS, or FedEx, PO box number cannot be used. So there is a separate mailing address if you are using USPS or if you are using UPS. So with USPS, you need to send it to NC Department of the Secretary of State. Attention authentications, PO Box 29622, Raleigh, North Carolina 27626-0622. Please remember, if you are sending through regular mail and if you are receiving back the document through regular mail, the apostille may take up to 30 days to arrive at your location. If you are using UPS or FedEx, then you must send the application to NC Department of the Secretary of State. Attention authentications, 2 South Salisbury Street, Raleigh, North Carolina 27601. Now basically the apostille is taken care by the North Carolina Secretary of State office for the North Carolina. If you are applying in a different state, also the office name is Secretary of State office. The process will be very similar, just that amounts and the addresses and the phone numbers would be different. But for North Carolina, this is the phone number for the Secretary of State office, and this is the email. If you have any questions, you can ask them. Please remember, if you are applying through regular mail, it might take up to 30 days. And on top of that, you also need to consider the time it takes for the OCI application to complete and then the OCI card to arrive at your location before you plan a trip to India. So please consider all of these, and I'm really sorry that there is an additional step required for the OCI application going forward, and I wish you all the best. Take care. Bye bye.